Ben's slippery slip-up. A chill was beginning to creep into the air on the island of Sodor. A frosty glaze clung to the rails in the mornings, and the wind carried a biting promise of winter. At the China clay pits, Ben, one of the twin tank engines, was working hard, as was his brother Bill. They were their usual cheeky selves, but with a slight edge of competition. "I can shunt these trucks faster than you can, Bill," Ben would boast, huffing and puffing with a line of heavy clay trucks. "Nonsense," would retort Bill. "You're all bluster. It's better to be steady than speedy, you know." Ben, however, took no notice. He was a very hard worker, but the cold weather seemed to make him restless. He wanted to finish his work quickly and get back to the warmth of the sheds. One afternoon, he was tasked with taking a long train of clay trucks down to Brendan Docks. His driver cautioned him. "Be careful today, Ben. The rails are very frosty, especially on the downhill stretch. Take it slow." "Frosty rails?" scoffed Ben. "I'm a powerful engine. I'll just get a good grip on them." With that, he puffed away from the quarry, a little too quickly. The clay trucks rattled behind him, not quite enjoying Ben's hurried pace. As he ran along the line, the frosty landscape blurred past. He ignored his driver's gentle warnings, feeling confident in his own strength. He was a twin, after all. He knew these rails like the back of his buffers. He approached a long, curvy downhill slope. "We'll get a good run here," he puffed to his fireman. But as soon as he tipped over the summit, he felt a terrible lurch. The frosty rails, slick as ice, offered no grip. His wheels, which had been turning so quickly, suddenly locked and began to slide. Slip, slip, slide. "Brakes, driver! Brakes!" cried Ben's fireman. The driver applied the brakes, but it was no use. The heavy weight of the clay trucks was pushing Ben along, and he was completely out of control. He shot past a signal and then a small station. His driver's frantic whistling a loud warning. The station master, seeing the runaway train, grabbed his flag and waved it wildly, but Ben was already gone. He hurtled down the slope, feeling utterly helpless. He knew he was in a lot of trouble. He was no longer a big, important engine. He was just a little engine on a fast, slippery slope. Finally, the line flattened out, but it ended in a siding near a small mound of earth and waste clay. Ben, still sliding, couldn't stop. He crashed into the mound with a soft, muddy whump. Clay spilled over his buffers and onto the track. Ben was not badly damaged, but he was stuck fast, his front end buried in a mess of cold, wet earth. Soon, the sound of a familiar whistle reached his ears. It was Bill, looking a little worried, but with a hint of a smirk. "Well, well, Ben," he said, pulling the breakdown crane. "Looks like you decided to take a little mud bath. The Fat Controller isn't going to be pleased with this mess." The Fat Controller, when he arrived, was very serious indeed. "Ben!" he boomed. "Carelessness is a very dangerous thing on a railway, especially in winter. You were so keen to be fast, you forgot to be safe. Now you have made a mess and caused a great deal of trouble for everyone." Ben, feeling very small and very humbled, had nothing to say. He was hoisted back onto the rails by the crane and slowly, sadly, made his way back to the sheds. The warmth of the shed and the comfort of his twin brother's presence felt better than any amount of speed. He learned that day that winter weather demands respect, and that a truly useful engine is one who takes care of himself and his trucks, no matter how much of a rush he is in.